I'm having an old Coot product review moment right now because I realized I had the cover on in the previous two videos. Okay, wait, let's go back and do the fireworks all over again. Maybe not. Anyways, okay, so the old Coot here coming back at you with another exciting video. Toptes, is that how you pronounce that? This is their Decibel, right, handheld sound TS-501B level meter. Yesterday, when I did the two videos for 4th of July, I didn't realize I had to take the cover off. That's how much of a knucklehead I can be. Okay, so that's what the device actually looks like when you go ahead and do your decibel level metering and all that stuff. By the way, 3 AAA batteries are included. You basically pop this cover off and then your batteries go in there and you kind of get the idea. Okay, so now that I got my knuckleheadedness out of the way, it does come with a nice velour case, which is pretty cool. So you can actually see, protect your device, whatever it is, during transport or whatever the case may be. There's the front of the box. Here is the side of the box. You can see what's going on there. You do get a backlight that you can turn on and off. You get a data hold, right? So if you want to hold a certain, reading that you got to show someone, hey, this is what we're measuring at or metering at or whatever. Auto on and off, right? So if you leave it on accidentally, it'll shut itself off. Low battery warning. You do get to change between Celsius and Fahrenheit, and you also get a humidity reading. Why is all that important? Because when the air is drier and hotter, sound travels further and faster. I think that's how it works. Comment below if you have a better explanation of all that. But that's basically the theory, so that we can kind of see like relative to what you're doing. Here's the backside of water. If you want to see what the back of the box looks like, there you go. It's pretty much the same information. There are your QR codes. If you want to go ahead and scan those, make sure that what you're getting is the same product that was shown here in this video or similar or whatever the case may be. But anyways, you kind of get a sense of what's going on there. Consulting, I think that's all their information there in the UK, and also whatever the other case may be. But yeah, the orange is the color selection. That's the one here which has the orange, right? If you get the green, I guess you get the green. So there you go. You do get an owner's manual that comes with it, which is kind of cool. It kind of talks about the different functions and all that. And I'm not going to flip through this, but there are so many different languages in here. It's not even funny. Just basically showing you the same kind of information of what the settings are. When you get your box, you'll have fun reading this, I'm sure. Okay, anyways, let's talk about the specific functionality. So try not to do the same mistake I did yesterday by leaving this thing on. Take the cap off. That's how you actually get a more accurate reading. So all of my readings yesterday for the fireworks are off by a little bit, so be it. Okay, let's go ahead and turn it on. So you press and hold this button right here to turn it on. There you go. Now we're on. And what you can see there is right off the bat, you get a temperature reading, right? 79 degrees inside of this beautiful air-conditioned apartment. Relative humidity is 54.3, 54.5, you get an idea. And actually, as I'm talking, see, the ambient air noise was like 39 or 40 decibels. Let's see. There you go. So you can actually measure like how loud the air conditioner is if you want, or your fan or whatever it is you're using. To switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit is this button right here. You just push it once. There's your Celsius reading. Right, and then there's back to your Fahrenheit reading. Okay, fast and slow, that's what that FNS stands for. So right now it's reading pretty fast, right? It's taking measurements every, whatever that is, quarter of a second, half a second. If you push the slow button, it just doesn't meter as often, so it gives you a more stable reading. So like if you just wanted to know, what the numbers are without like looking like a stock chart, ticker symbol on the Wall Street Stock Exchange. But there you go. But if I go back to fast, you can kind of see that in real time. It's kind of just flipping back and forth. Okay, you also get this little bar meter here, which is kind of nice because it can show you like realistically, like check, sibilance, right? You can kind of, if you caught that reference, go ahead and smash that like button, just saying. Okay, to turn the backlight on, what you would do is press and hold this button. So I'm going to press and hold it for a second. There goes the backlight. Boom, and now you're backlit. If you want to hold a setting, what you do is you just push the hold button. See, and it'll hold it. So that way now you can go show someone what your level was or what your reading was. If you need to pop in somewhere, get a level meeting or get a level reading and then come back out and say, okay, I'm at 74.2. But if you push this again, right, you're back to real time and now it's metering again. And then again, to turn the backlight off, if you had to do that, you just press and hold for a sec. There you go, and then you're off. And then to turn the device off, basically you just hold the power button, the device will turn off. This maximum minimum thing, let's see if we push it. So now that's letting me set, I think it's letting me set like a range. and there's the minimum. So this is showing me the most I got was 79.4 and the minimum I got was 42.8 during that time frame. So that's important if, let's say you're running a specific piece of equipment and you want to know how loud the loudest was and how low the lowest was. That's what that button's for. And then I believe if you just push the power button again, it'll go back. Oh, whoops, that shut it off. Let's see if I can get back to, so let me do check, 1, hey, hey. Okay, so now when I push max and minimum, that was the loudest I got. That was the lowest I got. And if I push it again, does it go back to metering normal? How do we get it to go back to metering normal? Maybe let's try the power button again. No, it just shuts it off. I think you might have to turn it back on and off to get through that. Or read through the owner's manual. That'll show you how to do it. Okay, practical uses for this thing, right? When and how would you use this? Number one, I work in the movie industry, right? And I work as a cameraman, and a lot of times there's something going on. The neighbors are always complaining, hey, you're making too much noise, especially at 9, 10 o'clock at night or whatever the case may be. So this would be a great device to have on hand where you could like literally stand where the neighbor's standing, do a meter test, and then when the cops show up, you could just show them and say, hey, this is our level of where we're metering at. The most we ever got to was, boom, 79.1 or 80.9 or whatever the case may be. Let me just leave it like this for a second. Maybe it automatically goes back to where it was. Let's see if it does that. Or maybe it's a press and hold thing. Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, so when you press and hold, that's what, see, I'm learning as I go. So intuitive. Don't even need the owner's manual. Just kidding. You probably do need the user manual. Okay, but if you press and hold that button, that's how you get back to like live metering or real-time metering or whatever. And then again, that fast and slow comes in handy. That way you can just get a sense of what's going on. But anyways, campsites, right? You're at a campsite, you're the RV type, camper type, whatever, and you're running your power generator, as was seen yesterday in yesterday's video. Remember, I went to the back of the food truck. There was one of those, I think it was like a Honda generator, powering their whatever. So this would come in handy for that situation where like your neighborly neighbors at the campsite are saying, hey, you're too loud. Park ranger comes over, campsite, parents, whatever the campsite host comes over and says, hey, you're being too loud. You can say, wait a second, hold on, let me push the maximum. I was at 75 decibels, the maximum, and the minimum that we were at was 67.0. So there you go. So you can show whoever it is that's complaining, like, this is the decibels that we're at. I believe, don't quote me, I'm not an expert on this, but I believe anything over like 85 decibels is where you want to consider wearing hearing protection, right? Earplugs, earmuffs, sound canceling, whatever, you kind of get a sense of what's going on there so you can kind of tell. What would be awesome is if you check out the links that are down below in the description section, also in the comment section. Again, I'm just going to press and hold this for a second. That'll take me back to real-time metering in the slow mode. If I hit the fast mode, there's the fast mode for you. And then to turn the device off, you just push the off button. And don't be a knucklehead like me. Make sure to take the cover off, the protective cover off, to get an accurate level, reading or whatever. I wonder how far off. By the way, let me just do that real quick just to see how far off it was with the thing on. So there you go. So this being this close to this device, it's not much of a difference. Let me go ahead and hit the maximum minimum again. There you go. So 76.8 and then 45.0. So you're going to get obviously better accuracy with the cover off, the way that you're supposed to, measure this or meter this. Obviously, that's the old coot screwing up right there in the previous videos. But yeah, so let me go ahead and press and hold this again. So now when we do this, check, 1, hey, hey. Okay, now I can go ahead and do my maximum, 78.4. And then there's my minimum, 50.4. So I definitely went up about 4 or 5 decibels on either end of the spectrum. And that's just me talking, what is this, a foot away from, 2 feet away from the device, 1.5 feet away from the device. So kind of just to give you a sense of what's going on. But anyways, what would be awesome is if you check out those links down below in the comment section, also in the description section. I will put links to the other products that Toptes makes, so you can check those out as well. There is a light meter that I'm going to be testing soon, so stay tuned for that video. And also, I think I might have gotten the gas meter as well, like the gas detection device for the barbecue grill to measure propane, also around the oven, just to make sure you don't have any leaks or whatever. That's always good and helpful, especially when you're barbecuing. Like at a campsite, did you shut off the barbecue? Now you can know for sure, because you'll be able to check with that with the gas level metering device thingamajiggy. And the light level meter for the movie industry people. Also, maybe, you're doing some lighting, interior designing or whatever, you might need that. By the way, the list of things that you would need this for goes on and on. Parties, right? Like I said, you have a nosy neighbor or something, and the neighbor's like complaining to the police that there's high level of noise. I know this is an unwritten rule, but I think, like, at least as far in my experience was, when you call the police to complain about a neighbor's noise level, usually the first time they'll put like a check mark next to the address, right? And then the next time you call, they'll put another check mark next to the address. But I think the third time, like, a neighbor calls, like whether it's the same neighbor or a different neighbor, that's when they send a unit out to go figure out what happened. But like I said, if you have one of these and you are the person that's throwing the party, just stand out on the street or stand as close to your neighbor's house as, within limits where you're not trespassing, and just kind of do a reading. And then with the police standing right in front of you, just say, hey, here's where we're at, right? We're at the acceptable level or range of tolerance. True story. If you stuck around this long, Dan Bilzerian, the owner of that medical marijuana company. Yes, I did work as a cameraman at one of his events at that huge mansion that he used to have up above. What is that? Bel Air, Bellcrest, something like that. And I remember the police did show up, and the security guards had similar to devices to this. I'm not going to say they had this exact same device, but they had similar devices to this. The police showed up, they showed the cops and said, here, this is what we're reading at right this second, right here on the street. And the neighbors are even further away than that. So the cops were like, okay, great. You're within the acceptable range of like high and low or high decibels or whatever, where you could be or where you should be. And basically they said, okay, great. Have a great night. And that was the end of that. So true story there. The old coot did that experience, saw a similar device to this being used like that. So that would be a good example where you might need this thing. You're sleeping, you're having trouble sleeping. You want to know what noises are coming around your bed, air conditioner, fan, the frequency noise that your espresso machine is making, all that kind of stuff matters. So this would be another good reason for this. But for me, in my case, I think the most relevant use that I'm going to get out of this is campsite camping, backpacking, just trying to see what the acceptable level of noise is, and just see where we're at. Sometimes I do these group camps things or whatever. I'm part of that, and maybe I don't want to be a part of that, and I'll go away from the closest campsite because I want to avoid being part of the noise problem. You kind of get the idea. But anyways, this could save your booty one day, especially from getting a fine or a ticket or a citation. You never know. But anyways, with that being said, the old coot here, I will catch you on the next exciting video. Remember, this will be on my Amazon storefront. Check out the comment section, the description section. You get the idea. And if you caught the reference to sibilance, check, 1122. Hey, ho, ho. There you go. So let's see what we maxed out at. We maxed out at, let's see if it'll do it. There you go, 80.6, and our lowest low is 41.9. So anyways, I will catch you all in the next exciting video.